Hello and welcome to a special Viva Film mini-sode. Do not adjust your television sets or your computer screens. I am coming to you in black and white today because it's only fitting while talking about what we're talking about today. I'm just going to get right into it because I don't want to waste anybody's time. We're here to talk about the new Amazon Sony Spider-Man TV show, Spider-Noir, which is of course developed for television by Oren Uziel and starring Nicolas Cage, Lamorne Morris, Lee Jun Lee, Karen Rodriguez, Abraham Papula, Jack Houston, and Brendan Gleeson. This is one of those shows that, like, whenever it was announced, I genuinely just assumed it wasn't ever going to happen. Like, it was one of those where it felt like too cool of a concept. It felt, and a lot of these Sony projects do typically like fall through, like, the Jackpot movie, the Bad Bunny movie. I don't even remember what character that was called. Or there was like I know there was the Hypno Hustler movie. There was the Black Cat and Silver Sable movie. There was the Sinister Six movie, Amazing Spider-Man 3, even if you want to go all the way back to Spider-Man 4. It's one of those where, and this was such a fascinating project to think about whenever it was coming out, because obviously Nicolas Cage did voice Spider-Man Noir in Into the Spider-Verse. It was fantastic, huge highlight of that movie. And I think myself and a lot of other people, when this was announced, they were like, okay, like Nicolas Cage in his early 60s playing a live action Spider-Man, how is that going to work? How's it going to come across? And it comes across really well. The highlight of the series is Nicolas Cage's performance. He's obviously one of the best actors of all time. He does really bring that energy to this. There's moments where he has some wild line delivery, especially in the last two episodes. I think is when he gets the most Nicolas Cage. He has one line that the way he delivers it is so perfect. I burst out laughing when I was watching it last night. He's incredible. He has this really great physicality to his performance. I don't know if there's anybody who's ever played Spider-Man in live action who has done the thwip as well as him. It's like when he does it, it's like he's been waiting his entire life to do it. It's very, I don't know, there's something about it where I'm just like, holy fuck. Like, I've never, and again, like, I think everyone else has done a fine job with that, but there's something about the way he does it specifically. Like, he has such energy to it. And like this physicality where he's like, you can just tell he's enjoying himself and he's thought about this. Maybe he's done it in the mirror a few times. It's extremely cool. And that's one thing I do like is like, I don't think you have to be a huge comic book nerd to be a great actor in a comic book thing. Plenty of people is just like, oh, what's this? Oh, yep, okay, that's cool. This is just a job. But Nicolas Cage, I mean, his stage name is Nicolas Cage because Luke Cage, he named his son Kal-El. He's very into all of this comic book stuff. And he's played multiple comic book characters. And he in his portrayal in this, where I know at one point in the press he said that he was playing this like he was a spider, pretending to be a man. And that actually, I don't entirely know what that means, but I also understand it at the same time, where you're like, he doesn't always feel completely human, or like he doesn't view himself as human at least. And that's one thing I do like about this version of the character is he's very different from your typical like modern day Spider-Man, where he's like down in his luck, and so he's down in his luck, but he's also different. Like, he's an alcoholic. His name is Ben Riley, so he's not Peter Parker. They do imply that Ben Riley isn't his real name at one point, so he probably just is Peter Parker. But I think it's also one way to differentiate it. So it's a different Spider-Man Noir from Into the Spider-Verse. In the first episode, they even had that line where he goes, people always ask me what universe this is. And I say, it's the only one I know of. Well, it was a weird question. And I think people misinterpreted that as like, oh my God, it means that like it's connected to Spider-Verse and stuff. And it's like, no, I think it's just a cute nod to this fact that he played him in Spider-Verse, but it's like, no, this is just its own thing. And and for example, I don't want to see the Spider-Man interact with anybody else. I don't think if like season two, Tobey Maguire swung in and was like, "Oh, gee, I'm from the modern day." I don't know if I would be super into that. Even though that does sound kind of fun. And there's some really cool visual nods to like previous Spider-Man projects, which I really liked that a lot. I thought it was very fun. I really loved the Spider-Noir costume. It felt very like it wasn't trying to look modern or like new. It felt very old school, but also like it was also just a cool design. Like, they really nailed like the goggles and the eyes. I really like that. I also have seen people point this out, and I agree. I love that Spider-Man just has full conversations with people without taking his mask off. That was nice. It felt like very physical and real. I'm not a huge fan of in the MCU that Spider-Man has like the nanotech mask now. I don't like that. So like I think giving Spider-Man an actual like mask that he takes on and off feels more physical, feels more like he's a real person who's like there that you're watching. Um, but there's an incredible cast going on here though, of course, which I was talking about earlier. Like we have obviously like Lamorne Morris from New Girl plays Robbie Robertson, and he's a character who obviously was played by the great Bill Nunn in the Raimi verse. But I think that what Morris is able to do is he's able to really flesh him out. He feels very real, and it's like, and he's basically the secondary main character because I mean you literally have, I mean he's literally a you know a black man in the 20th century trying to get by as a reporter, not getting the respect he deserves, and he does an incredible job. He's endlessly charming. He's extremely like funny and witty, and that's what you expect from Lamorne Morris. Like he is such a phenomenal actor. I think he's hilarious. So like seeing him in this, it just fit really well. I also think Lee Jun Lee as Cat Hardy or Black Cat, it is wild to me that this is the first time we're properly seeing Black Cat in live action, even if she's not wearing like a costume or anything. I think she did a really great performance as this like femme fatale. Like, can you trust her? Can you not? What are her motivations? I thought she was fascinating. And again, I think she's a fucking wonderful actress. Did an incredible job. I think Karen Rodriguez keeps things very grounded. She's very entertaining. Her character really serves as kind of like I do think that he has multiple angels on his shoulders, but like as really like trying to push Ben into being you know into helping other people, and you know and keeping him held accountable, you know. So I think she did a great job at that. I think that Abraham Papula as Tombstone, as the first live action Tombstone, that was wonderful. I think he did a terrific job. I forgot that Tombstone was even in this, and I was like, oh my God, it's Lonnie Lincoln. This is incredible. That was really fun. Jack Houston playing like an old timey Sandman. That was super cool. Number one, because he was in Boardwalk Empire, and I love that show. And then seeing him back here as Sandman, I thought that was such a smart casting choice. I love just his like, he always felt like he was a rock. He always just felt like a rock solid. Like you can't mess with this guy. Like you can't fuck with him. Like he's dangerous. But he also has that humanity to him. And it really worked. And I think it's a lot of what they were going for in the Spider-Man 3 with Thomas Hayden Church. I think this one is a little bit more scummy and a little more villainous, but like I really, really love Sandman. He was probably my favorite villain in this. I think Brendan Gleeson, you know, it's no secret, he's a wonderful actor. He's incredible as Silvermane. I think making Silvermane the main antagonist as opposed to like a hammerhead, where it's like he's like it's like, oh no, you have this very like human guy, no powers, who's running everything. It made things feel a lot more tense. I also thought like Megawatt was like fine. I get what they were going for with that character, but sometimes I found that character a little bit cringy in some of his dialogue. But also I get what they were going for, so it's like perfectly fine. And he also has some really great action sequences. I so some of the negatives that I will point towards this show is I do sometimes feel like it, not that it meanders, but rather that it I feel like it can go slightly in circles, like not in a bad way, but sometimes I'm just like, okay, we're focusing on this, you know, a little bit too much. Like I think maybe it could have been a little more compact, like maybe like 6 episodes. I mean, I'm someone who I think the TV show should have like 20 episodes a season. So maybe if it was a little bit expanded, where you could do more one-off episodes, where you know he like fights other Spider-Man villains or solves other crimes. But like even with this specific story, I think it could have actually been a little bit shorter. But it wasn't distracting. Like I enjoyed myself every episode. I thought it was a great show. And another thing is I watched this in black and white, and there's been a lot of debate about how to watch it. And from what I've seen of the visuals and color, looks great also. So I might rewatch it one day in color because I was really impressed by what I have seen for how vibrant everything looks. I think that's really cool. I think it's cool that I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to watch this. I mean, I prefer, like, in theory, you know, I would prefer it black and white, but then when you do see how vibrant it looks outside of it, I'm like, that's really interesting. And it's a cool dichotomy because it's kind of like you're getting two different tones that you're getting this noir story told in. And another issue I do have is that sometimes, and maybe it looks better or worse in color, but sometimes the backgrounds looked a little fake and a little CGI-y. I don't know. Maybe I'm just expecting that in like superhero stuff now, but I got a little turned off by that a little bit. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, okay, that doesn't, the background doesn't look the best here. But, you know, these are very minor complaints. I think this is a very good show. I think it's highly entertaining. I think it's got great characters. I think it's got some really good dialogue. It's got some fun dialogue. And it's got some really great cinematography. Like there's a shot near the end of Cat where she's just like smoking a cigarette, and I was like, fucking gorgeous. Like, wow, this is really impressive. And yeah, I mean, you can't ask for more. This is like this is easily like the best Sony live action Spider-Man thing since I don't even know. Like, I don't even know what it would be the best since like Spider-Man 2, maybe? Like, I don't know. It's very good. It's very entertaining. I'm a big fan. I had a great time with it. I don't think you could have. I don't think this would have worked without Nicolas Cage. I think his performance kind of webs everything together, and I'm way too proud of that. That's stupid. And I don't know, it just works. It's a great vehicle for being like, hey, just in case you forgot, Nicolas Cage is an incredible actor, and the idea of him playing Spider-Man in live action is really cool. So yeah, I'm happy this exists. I'm happy it's entertaining. I'm happy that it's like legitimately good. It's not just like, oh yeah, that was fine, and then you forget about it. It's like I've been thinking about it. And also the opening credits are insanely cool. It's like, oh my God, it's not just a logo. It's like there's a song and actual stuff in the opening credits. It's not, I'm tired of just the like logo opening titles. I think that we as a society need to progress past that, progress back to actual like good opening credits because I love good opening credits. I think everyone does, and I don't know why we got to this minimalist opening credits thing. Very confusing to me, but the show is great. They leave it open to where there could be a season two, or this could be a mini series, and like I think either way, I'm happy. If we just get this one cool season of a fun TV show, I'm happy with that. But also, I would like more like legitimately good superhero comic book TV shows that are ongoing because we have too many where it's like, oh, look, here's Falcon and Winter Soldier fighting around for 6 episodes. It's like, can we have some series? Can we have some TV shows that I get to watch every year? Um, but again, really good show. Highly recommend checking it out. And yeah, I know Anthony hasn't watched it, so Anthony, you get on it, partner. What are you doing? It's Spider-Man. He's doing all sorts of stuff. So yeah. But anyway, thank you for joining me for this little mini review. I've been Caleb, Spider-Man Noir and whatnot. Nicolas Cage, very very cool. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.